right, we're filming today's lesson. Today is February 18th, 2019. If you are watching from home, I'm going to be going over the lesson just as if you would be here. This was homework on Thursday night. You're going to need to pause the video so that you can check over your assignments. Make notes if you need me to go over any problems with you. That was the front page. And you had just these 3 problems on the back. I encouraged you to do the web. And now we're moving on to Chapter 2, Lesson 8. We are learning simple interest today. There is a formula with simple interest that you need to know, okay? We're going to have capital I. What do you think that stands for? Interest. It stands for interest. Very good. Interest is equal to P times R times T. The P is for principal. The R is for rate. And the T is for time. Interest is equal to principal times rate times time. Okay? What we need to pay attention to is that rate is a percent. Principal is our dollar amount. Interest is also going to be in a dollar amount. And time, we always talk about time in years. If you were to have time in months, you would have to put that over 12, okay? Or months over 12. Why would we do over 12? 12 months are in a year. So that would give us our months in the form of years. Okay? So pay attention to that. Interest is equal to principal times rate times time. All right, we're going to start with example 1, which is on page 168. Okay? Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. That is our money, right? So that is going to be our principal, all right? The account pays 3% interest. How much interest will he earn each amount of time? So we're going to look at example 1 is talking about for 5 years. Interest should be less than principal. Your principal is your big amount of money, okay? That's the main amount of money you're going to come out with. What's going to happen is because the percent is written as a decimal, it's going to lower it, okay? Yes?
So when you go to the bank and then they give you like $2 after like a little while, that's
interest. Yes. Yes. If you put money into a savings account, the bank does not put your bills, your $580 is not sitting in an envelope in the safe at the bank. They put that money into their cashier drawers and they type into the computer that Kristen Chauvin deposited $580 on this day. And they keep track of how much money I give them, and they keep track of how much money I take out, how much I borrow or how much I'm taking out, okay? With interest, if I would put this into a savings account, while they hold it for me, because they're not putting it in an envelope with my name on it, they're giving it to the person that comes behind me and says, I need $300. They're using my dollar bills for someone else. So they pay me interest, okay? It's not very much. You have to leave it in there for a long time to make a lot of money off of it, but it's a good like little way to make a little money, okay? It's a safe place to put your money too, besides under your mattress, right? All right, so I is equal to P is 580 times the R, which is 3%. So remember Dr. Pepper, your percent, 1, 2. Okay? Times time, which is going to be times 5. I like to start here, multiplying here. Okay. Go off to the side and multiply if you need to. Remember when you multiply, watch your decimals. I have two decimals, two locations behind the decimal. I need two the same here. So my interest is equal to 80. Sorry, this is a 0. That was a plus sign. $87. If he left $580 in an account for 5 years, he would make $87. It's not much, but it's better than 0, right? All right, example 2 is using the same $580 with, 3% interest. So we move that decimal, make it that. And then it's talking about now for 6 months. Thank you. The same $580, the same 3% interest. Remember to Dr. Pepper it. And we're talking about 6 months now. If you're looking at your formula and you see months, you need to put months over 12, okay? So interest is equal to 580 times 0.03 times 6 over 12. There's a problem. What's my problem? I have a decimal and a fraction. Do I know how to resolve this problem? I do. I can write this as 0.5. And remember, if you don't you know the decimal right off the top of your head, turn it the right way and divide, and you'll get 0.5. Okay? So I'm rewriting it completely. When I do that, do my multiplication again. Do not round until the very end. So when I multiply the 3% times 0.5, I get 0.015. Okay. It's actually the same numbers, but I have 3 places behind my decimal. So my interest is equal to $8.70. Remember, you need that penny. So you can see that when I have the same amount of money with the same amount of interest, it makes a whole lot of difference to leave that money in the bank for a long time. Okay? It makes a whole lot of sense. Right now, what I would like you to do is got it problem A. Jenny puts $1,560 into a savings account. The account pays 2.5% simple interest. How much interest will she earn in 3 years? If you're working from home, you need to pause it and then play so that you can check your work. All right, forgot at problem A, you should come out with $117.23. The math, my multiplication's a little messy, but you can try to check your work off of that if you have an error, but you should start off with $1,560 times 0.025, remember Dr. Pepper, times 3 years. Multiplied that first, and then I multiplied my money and my percent times years.
Where'd you get the 3 from?
Yeah.
On the multiplication.
3 years.
No, like during the multiplication.
Here,
You like carried over 3. And
up here.
Whenever you multiplied 5 times 0. Was that?
That was from, I'm not sure. Did you get a different answer than I did? I told you my multiplication's messy.
It's wrong.
It's wrong? The book says I'm right.
Why did you get that?
$117. Yeah, that's right.
Point what?
Nothing. 5
Nothing?
times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30, so it's 0.
Oh, I must have. Well, let me do it again. Oh, y'all are right. I'm sorry. So then, 117. So y'all have a solid $117.
Right.
No cents. All right, the book is telling me that too. Right there. If you're looking for B, the answer is $152. All right. So if we're talking about interest like this, we're putting money into an account. We're depositing the money into an account, okay? All right. If we borrow money from the bank, you have to pay the bank the interest, okay? So if I don't have money in a savings account and say I want to go buy a car, buy a house, anything that I can't afford, okay? I can borrow from the bank, but I have to pay them to borrow the money. Kind of like the opposite. If I put the money in and I let them hold it, they're going to pay me. It's my money, right? Well, if I'm borrowing money, it's their money. They need to make money off of that. So they're going to charge me the interest. So when I pay them back the amount I borrowed, when I start paying them for my car, I'm going to have to pay them interest as well, okay? So that's borrowing, and you'll see, you should see that word borrow or using a credit card, something like that. The formula is still the same. I equals PRT. You need to put that on a flashcard and remember it. When you get to your test, you should be writing I equals PRT after you write your name, your date, 7B, your number, and all that stuff, okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to need to remember it. And you're going to forget by the time you get to that problem. So make sure you write that down on your test, okay? So you're going to have to pay back. If you borrow, you have to pay the principal back. Principal is how much you borrow. And the interest is how much the bank needs you to pay extra, okay? So they're going to have to pay everything they borrow plus the interest. Example number 3 is on page 169. Rondell's parents borrowed $6,300 from the bank for a new car. A new car costs more than that, but that's okay. That's all they need to borrow. They had the rest. The interest rate is 6% per year. How much simple interest will they pay if they take 2 years to repay the loan? I equals PRT. I want to know what the I is. I know that I don't know that. They're asking me that. My principal is 6,300 times 0.06 times 2 years. Multiply that together at first. I get, no, I don't get 18. 12, thank you. $6,300 times 12 hundredths. So if they borrow $6,300 for 2 years, they're going to have to pay that $6,300 and this $756. Okay? Do we understand how the interest works if you're borrowing? Anybody notice something with the interest percentage for borrowing versus saving? It's 6%. What was it when we were saving money? 3%. When you borrow money for the bank, you're going to pay more interest. Bank has to make their money somehow, right? All right, example 4. Same page. Derek's dad bought new tires for $900 using a credit card. Okay? A credit card kind of works the same way. You're paying interest on it. His card has an interest rate of 19%. It's quite high. If he has no other charges on his credit card and he does not make a payment, how much money will he owe after 1 month? Okay. I equals PRT. Remember, month over 12. Very good. So P is what? You tell me. 900. Remember, it's a dollar amount. Times the rate. What's the rate? 0.19. Remember, Dr. Pepper. Times my time, which is 1 over 12. Okay? I need to simplify that 1/12. Very good. So then I'm going to multiply Make sure you count your decimal spots and leave them there, okay? Do not round early. I'm actually going to switch this. Anybody want to tell me why? It's easier to multiply everything times 9 instead of each number of these times 900. So five places. All right, the book has a different answer, but I bet it's because we rounded. So we're close enough. If that would happen, I would be able to check your work and see that your math is right. Okay? You would not have to worry about that. So the interest here is $14.19. The book comes out with $14.25. Did our fraction mess us up a lot? Not really. No, not really. Okay. Got it. C, Mrs. I want you to try and work that. If you're working from home, pause it so that you can try it, and then the answer will be explained after that. If you do with the decimal, you come out to $50.82. If you were to keep 8/12 as a fraction, you'd come out with $51.33. Here are the answers to C and D. Remember, your work will count for credit on this if you use a decimal versus a percent. A decimal versus a fraction for time and months. It's going to make your answer a little bit different. We're rounding there, so it just affects it a little bit. If I use 8 months as a decimal, it comes out different instead of a fraction, okay? Can you use the fraction? Yes, you can. You'd have to multiply numerator, 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 and then you'd have 12 as your denominator in the end, and you can finish there. Okay. All right. One more example. Oh, y'all can't see it. All right, last example. Example 5 is on page 170. Lewis is taking out a car loan of $5,000. He plans on paying off the car loan in 2 years. At the end of 2 years, Lewis will have paid $300 in interest. So they're giving us the interest amount. They've never given us that before. What is the simple interest rate on the car loan? Well, doesn't the formula give us an equation? It does. Don't we know how to solve equations? We do. We just have to remember to put 300 here. It's equal to 5,000 times rate times time, which is 2. God bless you. So I'm going to start with simplifying first. 5,000 times 2 is 10,000 times rate. I have a multiplication equation. To get this simplified, to get the rate by itself, I need to divide, which is the inverse of multiplication. I'm going to divide whatever is there, and I'm going to make sure to do it on both sides. Okay? Simplify here. Remember, I can do that. When I have 3 over 100 is equal to R. What does R stand for? It's the rate. What is the rate? It's a percent. Here is a fraction. If I'd write that fraction as a decimal, I'd get this. What is that as a percent? 3% is my rate. So that is the answer there. Okay? Is it always going to be easy where you have a denominator of 100? No. What happens to figure out the decimal if it's not? Turn it the right way. Turn this the right way is the right way. Got it? Problem E. Start working that one. If you're at home, pause it, try it yourself, and then you'll be able to check your work on here. All right, you should get 0.05 or 5%. Your homework is page 171. Okay. I do want you to go to 172. And I want you just to do 1 through 10. Number 10 has 2 parts, A and B. I want you to do both. Okay? Y'all have a C? Okay, then yeah, do all of that. Okay? All right, those at home, I hope you feel better.